This is Hank Adi, Technical Support Manager and Applications Engineer for MeshDynamics. The intent of this webcast is to give a quick instruction on getting your MD4000 mesh nodes out of the box and up and running as quickly as possible. I'll be going through the basic steps in preparing your mesh nodes for deployment. First, we start with physical connections. After loading the MeshDynamics software, connect the MD4000 mesh node as seen in the figure below. The Power over Ethernet injector, or PoE, and the laptop must be connected to a 10100 switch. Connect to the mesh node last. It is necessary that the Cat5 cable coming from the PoE goes into the left-hand Ethernet port on the node. Next, we move on to node configuration. Upon boot up, the node icon will appear on the network viewer screen. This takes roughly 1 minute. The node icon will have a solid black line connecting it to the edge of the screen. This represents the node's wired connection to the switch. Double-click the node icon. A black check mark will appear in the node icon's message window. This will populate the values in the node's Properties tab on the left side of the screen. Right-click on the node icon and select Settings, then Configuration. This will bring up the node configuration window. From the node configuration window, various settings on the node can be managed. Each tab on the window introduces a category of settings. The General tab gives basic information about the node, such as model number, firmware version, and heartbeat interval. Although all MD4000 mesh nodes are Layer 2 devices, the General tab also provides Layer 3 settings if needed. The Interface Settings tab allows the user to control parameters on each individual radio on the mesh node. As can be seen, each radio has its own setting pertinent to its functionality. The Security tab allows encryption to be set on each beaconing radio on the mesh node, that is, downlinks or AP radios. Encryption options include WEP, WPA Personal, or WPA Enterprise. WPA2 is also an option via the drop-down list. Notice that encryption is not possible or necessary on uplink radios, as clients do not associate to uplink radios. Uplink radios can only be associated to other MD4000 mesh nodes. Under the VLAN tab, VLANs can be created and modified to carry VLAN traffic from wired clients or wireless clients to a VLAN switch. Each VLAN has the options of 802.11e category and 802.11p priority, as well as the same encryption options offered by the beaconing radios. Click on the new VLAN icon, then fill in the information to the right. After setting security on the VLAN, if desired, click the Save icon. Client access to the mesh node can be controlled through the Access Control list under the ACL tab. Click on the New Client icon, then fill out the information above. This newly added client can be allowed or blocked from associating to the mesh node. When finished, click the Save Client icon. After all node settings are completed, click the Update button at the bottom of the window. Some settings may require the node to be rebooted. If so, there will be a Reboot Required message in the node icon message window and under the Properties tab. Before deploying a MeshDynamics network, it is strongly recommended that all mesh nodes be moved to a non-default logical network. This is a security measure that prevents an intruder who may also have the network viewer software from logging on to the mesh nodes and corrupting the network. To create a new logical network, click File, then New Network. This will introduce a window where the network name and network key are created. It is very important that the network name and network key be documented. This information is needed to access the nodes, else the nodes can be left stranded in a non-default logical network. After the new logical network is created, it will be shown as a new network screen labeled with a tab at the top of the screen. Once mesh nodes are moved into this network, their icons will appear in the screen under the tab. To move nodes into a created logical network, click on the Group Select button, and following the instructions from the resulting pop-up window, perform a shift-click on each node that is to be moved into the logical network. After each node is selected, there will be a blue checkmark inside of the node icons. Next, click the Run button and select Run Macro. In the resulting pop-up window, choose Select Nodes from Active List. Finally, select the Move Nodes To option. In the drop-down list to the right, all created logical networks will be present. Choose the desired network in which to move the nodes, then click Finish. After a few seconds, the node icons will have a Reboot Required flag in their message windows. This will also be stated on the left side of the screen under Runtime Flags. After the Reboot Required flags appear, reboot the nodes. This can also be done with the Run Macro operation. Be sure the most distant nodes are rebooted first, then working up the tree, finally rebooting the root node last. The Run Macro operation does this automatically. If the root node is rebooted first, it will come up in the other network and leave the relay nodes stranded in the default network. Click on the tab of the network to which the nodes were moved. Upon boot up, the node icons will start to appear in the network screen. It is important to remember that all relay nodes moved into a new network must have a root node to associate to. If there is no root node in the network, the relay nodes will not appear on a network screen. Finally, we cover mobile node configuration. To ensure proper functionality of MeshDynamics mobile nodes, be sure each node is properly configured for mobile usage. Go to the node's configuration window. Under the General tab, go to the drop-down list next to Mobility Mode and select Mobile Infrastructure. It is recommended for mobile applications that the maximum transmit rate be set to 24 Mbps on the uplink radio of the mobile node. This allows for a more robust modulation scheme and a more reliable flow of data. From the Interface Settings tab, go to the drop-down list next to Max Transmit Rate and select 24 Mbps. Click Update, wait 5 seconds, then reboot the node. Your MD4000 mesh nodes should now be ready for standard deployment. For more advanced configuration options, please consult the Network Viewer user manual.